Welcome back. It is Tuesday, May 2nd in the MLB. Our three favorite picks are on the way. I'm Austin from Calling a Shot. We're back. Let's talk about yesterday and recap it. It was a solid 2-1 day. We will happily take that any day of the week. We had Red Sox team total over 4.5. Another great call from Logan. They scored 2 runs in the first, made us sweat a little bit, but like you talked about, Barrios left in a little too long. They get it done. I had Guardians money line. They got that done. It was sweaty. Required 3 runs in the top of the ninth. We'll take it. And then our no run first inning did not hit, but well, hopefully we bounce back today with a great one. Not only that, now on a 13-2 run, but also if you've been following our parlays of the day, hey, it cashes right around plus 200 value. We'll have another parlay of the day on Dimers. It's the top link in the description. It's normally live by the time the video drops. It's definitely live by within an hour after the video drops, like 10 a.m. But it should be live right now. So go check it out. Top link in the description. As a reminder, Logan sadly is on vacation until Sunday, May 7th. He'll return to the videos. He's earned that vacation. He's paid for it. And with all of his great picks over the past week or so, if you're out in Sedona, Arizona, and you see him, hey, say hello to him. Thank him for all the picks because he's absolutely deserved it. And as always, if you need any sportsbook sign-up links, they're down below in the description. But I want to carry the hot torch that Logan handed me. We're going to dive into our favorite plays of the day, and we're going to start with the really, really one that I don't know if a lot of people will agree with, but I'm going to do a little bit of Logan's line reading. Let's talk about it because the first one will be the Mets and Tigers. Under 8.5 runs, minus 105 on DraftKings. Now, I'm praying to myself that not only the line reading works out, but that I also pick the right line in this one because there was a couple different ones I did consider. And let's talk about this game. Now, despite, Logan being on vacation, we're still going to do the line reading that he's been talking about ever since, March 30th when the MLB season started. And right now, when you look at the line for this game, you're seeing the Mets at only plus, or the Tigers at only plus 120 on the money line. Seems very easy to take a Mets team when you got a guy on the Tigers with an ERA of 7.07. Then you get the guy on the Mets with an ERA of 2.19. You see these two disparities, and you're like, I let's put Mets money line in all my parlays. And while I have not hit the point in the season where I want to lose money on Tigers money line or on Tigers plus 1.5, I think if this game goes the way I expect it to, it is going to be with the Tigers maybe pulling out in a low-scoring game, or maybe they'll keep it close at the end of this game. But I certainly think this one goes under here because I personally don't trust the Tigers' offense to put up runs. Although their team has been putting up more runs recently, I still like the under more so than relying on the Tigers to come in here and win a game outright for plus 120. But that's why I'm saying I hope I pick the right one. And if the Tigers want to win outright and it goes over, I'll eat my humble pie tomorrow. Now, let's talk about this one because Michael Lorenzen will start for the Tigers. And like I said, he hasn't been great this year. I mean, 7.07 ERA, but he's had up and down starts. You've seen him have starts of 6 and then 0 and then 5 earned runs. So it's been quite the roller coaster here. But we know the Mets offense coming off a doubleheader yesterday. Maybe they rest some guys today, but obviously games against the Braves mean a lot more than a game against the Tigers here. And we've seen Lorenzen. I mean, can he come out here and get another 0 earned run type performance? Yes, it's possible. The Mets, 18th best batting average in the league. Not great. They are 11th in runs scored, but still, this team has not had great offense to start this year. And when Lorenzen comes out of the game, we're going to need that Tigers bullpen to hold it down. And they've been solid this year. 4.40 ERA, very middle of the pack, but a 1.13 whip. So that's the fourth best whip in the MLB. So their whip has been pretty good. Maybe that ERA starts to climb down. The Tigers have capable of pitching arms in that bullpen. Now, let's talk about Joey Lucchesi, who will start for the Mets. Honestly, I think he's due a little bit of regression, but the regression doesn't mean that he gets a 6 earned run type start. Regression could just be in a couple earned runs in this start, which we can afford a couple earned runs. So hitting 9+ runs in a game isn't necessarily too easy. But you look at Lucchesi, 2.19 ERA, 1.05 whip, 2 starts this year. So there's not a lot of sample size, 0 and 3 earned runs. He did miss all of last year due to injury. But still, like I've talked about, this Tigers offense, very hit or miss. 28th in batting average, 29th in runs scored. They have been putting up some runs recently, but can they do it consistently? I haven't seen that to say that, oh, this Tigers offense can easily get you 3 or 4 runs any given day. They could give you 0 on any given day, in my opinion. So look at this. Joey is capable of getting out of some jams. He's done it this season. And when he comes out, we're not asking him, to pitch a gem. We don't need a Domingo Germán masterclass to just get sold by the Yankees bullpen and Aaron Boone yesterday like we did with the Guardians money line. The Mets bullpen hopefully can hold it down. A 3.51 ERA is 11th best and a 1.14 whip, 7th best. So the bullpens are coming in. Maybe they give up a couple more run opportunities because the Mets used a lot of their bullpen arms yesterday in the doubleheader. But I still think that the Mets bullpen and Lucchesi can come out here and hold this Tigers offense at bay and keep them, under 5 runs. I mean, that's not asking for a crazy thing. If Tigers want to win outright, That's fine with me, but I really think the under 8.5 is a little bit better of a safer play. Obviously, this could go over and the Tigers could win. They could put up 5, 6 runs on my head, but I think this is a lower scoring game. I think Lucchesi pitches pretty decently. Lorenzen pitches pretty decently. I'll take the under 8.5 runs in my first play of the day. But let's move on to a player prop. That's what you guys know me for on the channel. And we're going to go to a guy that you definitely know he's probably on the thumbnail because it's Shohei Ohtani. And I like his over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, before you ask me, Austin, where is this on FanDuel? Let me tell you and break the bad news first. FanDuel doesn't post this prop. I've talked time and time again. I hate FanDuel for baseball. I think FanDuel's great for draft for like NBA and other types of bets on for baseball and hit props and stuff like that. Really don't like them here. So if you are on a sportsbook, DraftKings best book to get for this prop. But also, I believe BetMGM, I believe PointsBet will also post a line like this. And I think maybe Bet365, don't quote me on that. Not sure if Bet365 does it. Haven't really looked at that book because they're normally a little bit later on than DraftKings. Now, if you're on a daily fantasy app, which we love, we're sponsored with a lot of them, you can find this on Underdog Fantasy, Sleepers got it, and No House Advantage. If you haven't signed up for any of those three, make sure you use code COS so you get 100% deposit match on your first deposit. Now, let's, of course, talk why we actually like Ohtani to get over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Now, I'm going to abbreviate to HRRs, but we think about Ohtani. There's so many different. I much prefer over 1.5 HRRs than a basis prop because basis prop, he's got to get hits. There's no other way he could get it done. Now, for this, he could get a couple sack flies. He could maybe get, get on base via a walk and then get hit around for a run. There's a bunch of different pathways to victory here, which is why I like this over basis props. Now, in the last 5 games, Ohtani's been scorching hot. He's on a 5-game hitting streak, so hopefully that continues today. And in those games, he's at 6, 6, 1, 3, and 3 hits plus runs plus RBIs, going over in 4 or 5. Now, you think about guys above him, Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, those are guys that can get on base and potentially put themselves in scoring position. So where we only might need Ohtani to get 1 hit, and boom, that's an RBI single. That'll cash us for us. But not on that, like I said, could get a sack fly as well. Or he could get a home run. Why not get a home run? And Michaela's 2 birds, all the birds with 1 stone, and we can get out of here in a first inning winner. But let's talk about Ohtani, though. Like I said, been pretty solid this year. 2+ HRRs in 17 of 28 games played at 60.7% of the time. He has 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs in 10 of 12 games with 5+ plate appearances. He will likely bat third in the lineup for the Angels. They're on the road. So you got an over-under at 9. They're expecting some runs here. Angels only about plus 110, plus 115 on the money line. So they're expecting the Angels to put up some runs here. And look, if they're putting up runs, that means Ohtani probably gets at least 4, hopefully 5 plate appearances. That's reasonable to expect. And we've seen Ohtani bat against Steven Matz. Now, Matz is a lefty, and Ohtani's hitting 281 this season versus lefties. He hit 263 versus them last year. So he's been pretty decent. Now, if you look at it and you look at Ohtani, just 1 for 6 lifetime versus Matz. That's not great, but would I rather sometimes, I mean, at least he's not 0 for, he's at least gotten a hit against Matz. Matz is a guy that does like to walk people, which might bode well for him with Trout and Ward right above him who walk a lot. Ohtani really has been drawing a lot of walks recently, and Ohtani loves swinging at the first pitch. Honestly, when a guy's 1 for 6 against the guy, I don't really hate that because we're going to see Ohtani coming in here. Matz is not going to come in here with like, oh, this guy's like 6 for 6 lifetime against me. I'm just going to throw him non-competitive pitches. I'll walk you. You've obviously have my number. I'll just walk you. That's probably not going to be the case. We're going to see Matz try to challenge Ohtani in the strike zone, and I think Ohtani's got a chance. He loves swinging early and often, especially on that first pitch. Matz is a guy that does like to throw pitch strikes on that first pitch, so maybe Ohtani gets a hittable pitch right at the beginning of his at-bat. Maybe he sends it in the bleachers, gets us a home run. That would be absolutely electric, but I think there's many different pathways to victory here, so I'll take the over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Like I said, I think there's a bunch of different ways where we could cash this out, but all we really need is a couple hits. You could get 2 hits, you could get an RBI single, a sack fly, you get a hit, and then get hit around for a run. There's so many different pathways here that I'll take a stab at it, and we'll ride with it. Now, I do want to get back to the more edited videos, but look, the Nerfy Nation music's been electric, and we can only do it on StreamYard, which is where we are right now. So let's get that going. Let's wave these flags today. Yesterday, we didn't get to wave it. I think the live streams will return soon, but we're waving this flag today, and we got a good one. And let's talk about which one we are going with today. And Logan's here in spirit waving that flag for us, but I like this one that I cooked up today for you guys because we're going with the Braves and Marlins, taking the no-run first inning here, minus 113 on FanDuel. So I'll bet 365 right around minus 115. FanDuel was hovering between minus 111, then minus 118, then they went to minus 113. I probably played to about minus 130, probably wouldn't go any further. Now, can I be honest with you guys? This one feels suspect. I'm not going to come out here and say if I were to do some Logan's line reading, and sometimes Logan does some line reading on the Nerfy, sometimes we just send it with the best pitchers we can and just hope for success because the Nerfy is a luck-based bet. But if you were to do line reading, it feels incredibly suspect. to get a Sandy Alcantara no run first inning at -113. I don't care who the heck's pitching on the other side, who's actually decent too. The -113 feels a little bit suspect, but you know what? We're going to ride with it because Sandy's been our no run first inning GOAT, and we're going to ride with him today. And then we're just asking for the Marlins to not score. Now, like I said, Sandy Alcantara will start for the Marlins. 5-0 on no run first innings this year. His last start came against the Braves. He got it done then. He's 4-0 on no run first innings in his last 4 versus the Atlanta Braves. Why we love a guy like Sandy, he can let bases loaded. He can get out of those jams with some ground balls, double plays. Braves are an annoying first inning offense, third and first inning runs. However, it is worth noting at the time of recording this, Ronald Acuna Jr., not sure if he plays. He exited yesterday getting hit by a pitch, I believe, with a shoulder injury. If Acuna doesn't play, that'd be big time for us because Acuna is obviously a guy that gets on and then he's normally stealing. He can also hit a home run. He can get a double. He can put himself in scoring position easily. So if Acuna is not batting there, maybe some other guys will be adjusted in the rotation, not used to their normal spots. And maybe we can get Sandy to come in here, get us those first 3 outs. Now, on the other side, if Sandy can do that, I can live with this next guy coming in. It's Bryce Elder for the Braves. Pretty solid this season. He is 3-2 on no run first innings. He did nerfy in his last start versus the Marlins. And what I do like is that he's a righty. I've noticed anything about the Marlins, they've been crushing lefties this season, hitting 302 versus left-handed pitchers. Well, good thing Elder is a righty, and our Marlins only hitting 237 versus righties. Now, Elder is 3-1 since 2022 on Marlins nerfy, so he's had their number 3-1, not too bad. Marlins are 27th in first inning runs, and they're over set to 7.5. So, like I said, this one is a little bit suspect that we're getting it at -113, but I have to trust our GOATs. We've had really, really good luck with Sandy Alcantara doing his thing. And then if it's just the Marlins that want to score runs in the first inning, a team that's really struggled, getting their bats getting the bats out there in the first inning, sure, I'll take the L and we'll move on to tomorrow and try to find a better one, try to do a little bit better line reading. But those are 3 favorite plays of the day. You see them scrolling at the bottom. Braves, Marlins, nerfy. Ohtani's over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, and that Tigers and Mets under 8.5 runs. Hopefully I can continue the momentum that Logan has had, and hopefully we can continue cashing these parlays of the day, which I've cashed 2 in a row. Again, it is the top link in the description. Go check it out. It's on timers. We love them over there. Love you guys. Hopefully I continue the hot torch Logan handed me. Hopefully have a great Tuesday. And if we can bring out the brooms tomorrow, that'll be absolutely electric. I'll see you guys back in the next one. This is Lawson, and I'm signing out. See you guys then.